The hospital room buzzed with panic, doctors rushing, monitors beeping, and a woman crying out in pain. But the moment the doctor walked in, everything stopped. Her scream faded into stunned silence as their eyes met. The woman on the bed was Emma Carter, and the doctor holding the surgical gloves was the man she had once loved more than life itself, Dr. Liam Hayes, her ex-husband. And what he did next left every nurse in the room speechless. Stay till the end, because what happens in that delivery room will make you believe that some bonds never truly break. It had been 3 long years since Emma had last seen Liam. 3 years since their marriage had fallen apart under the crushing weight of grief, misunderstandings, and words they could never take back. They had once been perfect together, a love story that began in medical school, built on late-night study sessions and shared dreams of helping others. He became a respected doctor, she became a teacher. But when they lost their unborn baby 2 years into marriage, everything shattered. Emma withdrew into silence. Liam drowned himself in work, trying to heal others while his own heart bled. The distance grew until love turned into pain, and one day, she walked out. No lawyers, no anger, just 2 broken people who couldn't hold on anymore. She moved to another city, started teaching at a small school, and eventually met Daniel, a kind, quiet man who made her smile again. But just when she thought she could start over, life twisted again. Daniel left her while she was 3 months pregnant, afraid of responsibility. Now, alone and 8 months pregnant, Emma was determined to raise her baby, even if it meant doing it all by herself. But fate had other plans. That night, the storm outside roared louder than her heartbeat. Emma was on her way home from work when the pain hit, sharp, sudden, unbearable. Her vision blurred. She barely managed to call an ambulance before collapsing on the roadside. The next thing she knew, she was being rushed into a hospital bed, bright lights blinding her, voices shouting. Patients in active labor. Get Dr. Hayes, he's on call. Her eyes shot open at that name. It couldn't be. Not him. But moments later, as the door burst open and the doctor stepped in, her worst fear came true. Liam Hayes. The man she had loved. The man she had left. Now standing before her, in a white coat, eyes wide with disbelief. Emma, he breathed, his voice breaking. She turned away, trembling. Please, just do your job. There was a silence that spoke louder than any scream. Liam's hands shook for the first time in years as he read her chart. Pregnant. Alone. No father listed. Complications expected. But as the monitors started beeping faster, instinct took over. He wasn't her ex-husband anymore, he was the only person who could save her and her baby. All right, he said, voice steady now. We're going to get through this. I promise. Emma bit her lip, tears streaming down her face. You don't have to. Yes, I do, he interrupted softly. I lost 1 child already. I'm not losing another. Hours passed like eternity. The delivery was complicated, the baby's heartbeat kept dropping. Nurses exchanged worried glances. Emma was losing blood fast. Doctor, her pressure's crashing, a nurse shouted. Keep her stable. Liam barked, refusing to look away from Emma's pale face. Come on, Emma. Stay with me. She looked up weakly, whispering, Why do you care, Liam? You stopped caring years ago. Her voice broke him. He took her hand, something no doctor should have done, and whispered, You're wrong. I never stopped caring. I just didn't know how to stop hurting. A tear slipped down her cheek as pain racked her body. Liam. I can't. Yes, you can, he shouted, the calm surgeon gone. Fight, Emma. For our baby. He stopped himself too late. Our baby, she whispered. He froze. The nurses looked at each other, confused. Liam's voice shook. When I lost you. I lost everything. I couldn't bear the thought of losing another child. Every patient I saved since then, it was me trying to make up for the one I couldn't save. For us. Emma's tears mixed with sweat. Liam. Please, he said, gripping her hand tighter. Don't leave me again. Something inside her shifted, the walls she'd built around her heart began to crumble. For the first time in years, she saw not the cold doctor, but the man who had once cried in her arms. She screamed through the pain, and moments later, the sound of a newborn's cry filled the room. The nurses cheered. Liam just stood frozen, tears streaming down his face as he cut the umbilical cord with trembling hands. "It's a girl," he whispered. "She's beautiful." Emma smiled weakly, reaching for the baby. But her vision blurred again. The monitors beeped. "She's hemorrhaging," a nurse yelled. "Prepare a transfusion, now." Liam's voice thundered. He worked faster than anyone had ever seen, refusing to let her go. Minutes felt like hours. And then, silence. The monitor steadied. Her breathing slowed, but she was alive. Liam collapsed beside her bed, sobbing silently. When Emma woke up hours later, she saw him asleep in a chair beside her, still in his scrubs, holding the baby in his arms. His eyes were red, his face unshaven, but his expression, peaceful. She whispered, "Liam." He woke instantly, smiling through tears. "You scared me." Emma smiled faintly. "You still care too much." He looked down at the baby, then back at her. "Maybe I never stopped loving you either." A few weeks later, when Emma was discharged, Liam came to her room one last time. He didn't wear his doctor's coat, just a simple shirt, the men she'd once known. "I don't expect anything," he said softly. "But if you'll let me, I'd like to be part of her life. Even just as her doctor." Emma looked at the baby sleeping in her arms, their baby or not, he had saved them both. She smiled, eyes glistening. "You already are." Months passed. Emma began teaching again, and Liam visited often. He'd babysit, bring food, and make the baby laugh with his stethoscope. What began as cautious friendship slowly turned into something more: forgiveness, trust, healing. And one afternoon, as Emma watched Liam rock the baby to sleep, she whispered, "Her name's Grace." He looked at her in surprise. "Why Grace?" She smiled. "Because that's what you gave us, a second chance at grace." He looked down, tears in his eyes. "Then maybe it's time I stop running from the past." When he looked back up, Emma was smiling. And in that quiet hospital corridor, where pain had once broken them apart, love, real, patient, and imperfect, found its way back home.